There's a truth about trading that most people don't want to hear, not because it's complicated, but because it's uncomfortable. It's this: making money in the market isn't about how smart you are, or how fast your charts move, or even how perfect your entries look. It's about discipline, the kind of discipline that most traders can't stomach for long. When I started, I had nothing but a pencil, a notebook, and a burning desire to understand why prices moved the way they did. I'd sit in a bucket shop, jotting down every tick of price change, studying the rhythm of the market like a musician listens to the beat of a drum. I didn't have algorithms, indicators, or social media gurus shouting trade ideas. What I had was observation and patience. Discipline begins where emotion ends. Every trader says they're disciplined until the market tests them. It's easy to follow your plan when you're winning. But the real test is when you're losing, when your position is underwater, and your mind starts whispering excuses. It'll come back, it says. Just hold a little longer. That whisper has ruined more traders than bad luck ever could. I learned that lesson the hard way. The first time I made a fortune, I thought I'd figured it all out. I believed the market and I were on the same side. But the moment I thought I was invincible, I lost everything. The market doesn't care about your confidence, your needs, or your dreams. It only cares about your discipline. Turning $1,000 into $10,000 doesn't begin with strategy, it begins with control. Control over your emotions, your greed, and your impatience. Everyone wants to multiply their account, but no one wants to master themselves. And yet, the market is just a mirror reflecting your own weaknesses. You think you're fighting the charts, but really, you're fighting your impulses. You see, there's a type of silence that comes when you're truly disciplined. It's the silence of waiting, the silence of not trading. The best trades I ever made were the ones I didn't take, the ones where I felt the urge to act, but didn't. Because every great trade has a setup, and every great setup requires waiting for the market to prove itself. When you start with a small account, every trade feels personal. A $50 gain feels like victory. A $100 loss feels like a disaster. But you must treat small money like big money, or you'll never handle big money when it comes. Discipline doesn't scale, it either exists or it doesn't. If you can't control a $1,000 account, you'll never control a $100,000 account. Here's what most traders get wrong. They believe success is about predicting the market. It isn't. It's about reacting properly when the market reveals itself. The best traders don't predict, they prepare. They have plans for when they're right, and more importantly, plans for when they're wrong. Every loss I ever took came from breaking my own rules, not the market's fault, mine. I'd enter too early, or double down to get even, or ignore a stop loss because I thought I knew better. And every time I ignored my rules, the market reminded me who was in control. It's not the price action that kills traders, it's ego. The difference between the amateur and the professional is simple. The amateur trades to feel right. The professional trades to make money. When you're disciplined, being wrong doesn't bother you. You take the loss, you move on. But when you're undisciplined, every loss feels like an attack on your identity. You start defending bad trades like a lawyer defending a guilty man. There was a time I made so much money, I thought the rules no longer applied to me. I stopped following my system, stopped respecting risk. I let pride take the driver's seat. And when the market turned, it took everything, not just my money, but my peace of mind. I learned then that discipline is not something you practice when convenient. It's something you live by every single day. So, what does discipline look like in practice? It's having a predefined plan for every trade entry, exit, and stop. It's never averaging down on a losing position. It's cutting your losses quickly and letting your winners breathe. It's journaling every trade, not just the result, but the reason behind it. It's recognizing when you're trading your plan versus when you're trading your emotions. There's an old saying, a man must believe in himself and his judgment if he expects to make a living at this game. That's true, but it's only half the truth. The other half is that you must be willing to admit when your judgment is wrong. Confidence without humility is the fastest road to ruin. Every trade should be treated like a business decision, not a gamble. Before you click buy or sell, Ask yourself, would you make this same move if it were your last dollar? If the answer is no, don't take the trade. There's always another setup, always another opportunity. The market rewards patience and punishes desperation. When you trade long enough, you start to realize the market is nothing more than a stage for human emotion. Fear and greed are the actors, news headlines are the script, and the crowd, the traders, react in predictable ways. Your job isn't to outsmart the market, it's to outdiscipline it. When everyone is panicking, your calm is your edge. When everyone is euphoric, your restraint is your protection. Most traders fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack consistency. They change strategies after every loss, chasing the next holy grail. But the real holy grail is patience. Consistency comes from staying with one method long enough to master it. You can't grow $1,000 into $10,000 by hopping between systems. You grow it by following one system with relentless discipline. I remember one trade where I waited nearly 2 weeks for confirmation. Every day, the market flirted with my setup, and every day I held back. Friends said I was missing out. Then one morning, the signal came, clear as sunlight. I entered, held, and watched as the price moved exactly as I expected. That one disciplined trade paid more than 10 impulsive ones. That's the power of waiting. There's a rhythm to the market waves of movement that follow cycles of emotion. When you learn to feel that rhythm, you stop fighting it. You begin to flow with it. But to feel it, you must first silence your noise, the constant need to act, to predict, to force outcomes. Trading is not about action, it's about timing. The patient trader always wins in the long run. Many people think the market is unfair. They say it's rigged, or manipulated, or too complex for the average person. But the truth is, the market is perfectly fair. It gives everyone the same opportunities to win or to lose. The difference lies in how you behave when opportunity presents itself. There were times when I lost more than most men make in a lifetime, but every loss taught me something deeper than profit ever could. I learned that survival comes before success. The trader who survives long enough will always get another chance. The undisciplined trader never makes it that far. If you want to grow $1,000 into $10,000, focus on preservation first. Protect your capital like it's oxygen, because it is. Without it, you can't breathe, can't trade, can't recover. Every decision must begin with one question: how much can I afford to lose? If you think in terms of risk instead of reward, you'll last. Trading isn't about excitement, it's about endurance. The best traders live boring lives. They follow rules, execute their plans, and stay calm through chaos. The crowd may laugh at their caution, but when the storm hits, it's the disciplined trader who remains standing. And understand this: every dollar you make in the market is taken from someone who lacked the discipline you had. You earn profits by being what most traders can't be: patient, consistent, unemotional. It's not a competition of intelligence. It's a competition of control. You'll find that discipline doesn't only shape your trading, it shapes your character. It teaches you to think clearly under pressure, to respect probabilities, to detach from outcomes. These lessons extend beyond charts and numbers. They build resilience for life itself. When you start with $1,000, think of it not as small money, but as tuition. Every loss teaches. Every win rewards your patience. The goal isn't to rush to $10,000. It's to build the kind of habits that make $10,000 inevitable. I've seen traders double accounts in a week, only to lose it all the next. That's not skill, that's luck. Real skill is surviving through hundreds of trades without emotional ruin. Real discipline is walking away from the screen when everything inside you screams to trade. The trader's discipline no one talks about is the discipline of doing nothing, of waiting through boredom, resisting temptation, and letting the market come to you. Most traders don't fail because they lack strategy. They fail because they can't sit still. You don't need to trade every day. You need to trade right. The fewer trades you take, the more precise you become, and the more precise you become, the less you lose. That's how a small account grows. Not through magic, through patience. The market will always test you with fear, greed, and noise. But the moment you master yourself, you master the market. And when you can do that, Turning $1,000 into $10,000 isn't a dream, it's just a matter of time. So, stay disciplined, trade less, observe more, protect your capital, wait for your moment, because the market rewards those who respect it and destroys those who don't. The choice, as always, is yours.